Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Aquila. I'm talking today about Pluto conjunct the Sun in Synastry. I'm going to be using tarot cards to illustrate the energy as well. They were designed by Pamela Colette Smith. This is the Rider Wyatt deck. So, in astrology, when you have someone's natal Pluto conjuncting someone's natal Sun, this is a very intense conjunction and aspect. So, this expression of these two energies coming together can literally form an internal implosion and explosion in the solar person's life. So, the sun person, okay? Because Pluto is the farthest planet from the sun, and the sun is the center of attention. Okay, it pulls all the planets towards it because of its warmth, because of its heat, because of its magnetism that it has towards the other planetary energies. It's like the sun has the same energy when the person is in a physical body. They are attractive to the Plutonian person, while the Pluto planet person, they're kind of the power behind the crown, the power behind, um, or the power behind the things that are also negative, right? So you want to see the way that the person's Pluto is being aspected and the way that the natal person's sun is being aspected. So if the person has aspects already from their sun to their natal Pluto, there may be kind of some understanding between the two of them, but there will still be a heavy energy coming in from the Plutonian person, okay? So, like, the sun is the king, and the Pluto person is basically the lord of the underworld. And they have this exchange of energy. And like I said, this is two powers coming together. So, what you're dealing with is you're dealing with a psychological change, you're dealing with a psychic energy as well. There may be manipulation, control. The sun will be the ego, the light source in the relationship, while the Pluto person will be that intense connection, that psychological kind of attachment to the solar energy. So it's really more of a strong bond, but it can also turn into control issues in a subtle way because Pluto is very impulsive and implosive. So impulsive, implosive, explosive. So you can have the Pluto person trying to control the solar person's energy in a very subtle way. Um, Definitely, when I've had clients that have had these type of relationships, there's always some type of control dynamic. Um, the Pluto person's childhood family dynamics also may be a focus in the relationship. So, uh, your attention to the tarot card, but we have the Death card is representing the Pluto person, and the Sun card is representing the Sun person. And even in the illustration, you can definitely see the different types of energy that is playing out as it's like death to the sun. So the Pluto person basically their psychological problems and maybe their childhood, their family dynamics, their financial situation, how they're seen in society as well. How are they socially? That can definitely burden the sun person, where they just want to be happy, they want to be carefree, they want to live their life, they want to express their energy to the fullest because that is the sun's job in the chart. Whereas in the death card, you see the sun behind the two towers. And in the tarot cards express the fall, your ego, your ego literally gets destroyed. So this is very transformative relationship for the sun person as well. This Pluto person can uplift or literally destroy the ego of the sun person. Excuse me. And it depends on how conscious the Pluto person is. So if the Pluto person is unconscious, there may be issues that may begin to surface, and the Pluto person may project those issues onto the solar person. Now, everything, yes, is onto the Pluto person. Pluto person. Now, the Sun person also, you want to see what's aspecting the Sun person, because there are things that may also, the Sun person may also be very hot and happy and ready to the point where it causes the Pluto person to be very obsessed with them. Where the Sun person may also feel a little bit of energy coming from the Pluto person, that there is some type of behind the scene things working out in their mind. You want to look at how close the orbs are between the Sun and Pluto. I use orbs as wide as 9 to 10 degrees, to be honest with you. The tighter orbs, of course, are going to be even more intense. So if your Sun is like 1 or 2 degrees away from this person's Pluto, or your Pluto is 1 or 2 degrees away from their Sun, the intensity of the aspect will express itself even more in your life. So you may find that there's more intensity. There may be a lot of obsession, control. You want to also see if this is uh, same sign, Pluto and Sun. So you may have a Pluto and a Scorpio. This person has a Pluto and Scorpio. That can work out a little bit differently, because a Scorpio Sun person can definitely deal with a lot of the Plutonian energies, because it's its ruling planet. But even then, it's very intense for the Scorpio Sun person as well. I've had clients that have had this kind of relationship, and these type of relationships, from what I've noticed, don't seem to really last, because the Sun needs to shine. And if there's death coming to that ego, it's like the Sun person may become a whole nother person being in the relationship with the Pluto person, as well as the Pluto person becoming either more secluded, or they may learn a lot about themselves through being in a relationship with the Sun person. But there may be so much intensity from the Pluto person that the Sun person may not be able to be around the Pluto person and keep a healthy relationship, unless the Pluto person is conscious and operating in a healthy way. So that may be something as well. So if they're in different signs, let's say your Pluto is in Virgo, but this at the end of the degrees, and the Sun person's is in Libra at the beginning. Now that may be a little different. So this might be a dynamic where maybe a situation where it's a boss employee kind of relationship. It may be kind of like a work relationship. It can be situations with a lawyer and a client. Those kind of relationships could play out in different ways, but they're still going to have an impact on each other, because of how intensely powerful both energies are in their own right. They both have energy in different ways. One is a destroyer, it destroys everything to rebuild it, and the other one is the uplifter. So you really have to look at it like that when you're looking at the synastry. So the remedies for these aspects are really psychology, understanding the psychology of the person that you're dealing with, making sure that that person understands their psychology, childhood healing, situations with family. And I would definitely say having space from each other will really help to kind of get an objective perspective, because sometimes when these two energies come together, there may not be as much objectivity, because there's so much psychic invisible energy happening here between the two energies. So you definitely want to look at that, as well as there being a strong sexual energy and attraction towards each other. There's a very strong power dynamic between these two energy fields. And when you see that you're attracting this kind of relationship with a Pluto or a solar person, there's something that's happening that maybe there's a timing system for everything. So maybe there's a time for you to start looking at certain things as to why you're attracting this kind of person. There may be even a healing situation coming to play. So I've had an example of a client that had this, and they were in a 5-year relationship with this person. And when the relationship was over, they could not even speak to the Pluto person anymore. It was like really bad. But After that relationship, this person completely transformed themselves and became, I would say, Plutonian. Even in solar energy, they were able to see a lot of things they couldn't see before because of their naivety. As you look at the tarot card, the sun is like a child, it's happy. And after the Pluto relationship, it's like the sun has more psychological awareness of maybe people trying to use them, power people playing power struggle games with them. They're more aware too of maybe their childhood issues and healing. They could even go into professions that help them to help other people that have gone through relationship dynamics like this. So thank you guys for listening. I'm going to leave my contact information in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.